tonight's game is going to factor big into the Western Conference standings. The Nuggets, you guys, have passed the Clippers. They now have the Lakers in their sights. The team split their first two matchups. The Nuggets on a 4-game win streak since Jamal Murray's return from ankle injury. Denver just 3 games back from LA at the moment. Paul, do you think they could catch the Lakers?
No, I think the Lakers are going to have a sense of urgency. I think they want to wrap up that #1 seed. I think it's going to be important for them because they know how good these other teams are at home. Nuggets, Jazz, even the Rockets. I think they want that #1 seed in the West.
Yeah, I mean, 4 games in the loss column is a lot.
That's a lot.
Because, elite teams like the Lakers, they only lose every 10 days.
Sure.
Right? I mean, it takes just a month and a half to do that. So the other thing is to Paul's point, normally maybe a LeBron team, you rest it, you coast at the end of the season. Not this year. They don't want to see the Clippers in the second round.
Right.
No.
Right. Well, a lot of that, I think, may have to do with the Clippers seeding as well, on where they see them also. I think it's going to be interesting because the Lakers will have to balance going in the stretch, getting that #1 seed with also, look, they are a more veteran team this year. They've gone from a younger team in the league to a more veteran team. And, Paul, don't you want to rest guys a little bit as you get into that home stretch?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the idea. But like I said, like you said, you don't want to see the Clippers in the second round. That's a matchup. That's going to be important. As they come down the stretch, they might look at the schedule and say they can rest some games, but they want the #1 seed. Please believe that.
All right, so go to the Nuggets side of the equation. They had that crazy win. Remember, they had 7 players in Utah the night after the trade deadline, and it was just sort of anarchy, and they won the game, and they've been on this good run now, wins in the last 3. What do you think of sort of where the Nuggets are, and especially after the deal they made?
Yeah, I mean, with Murray coming back from injury, it's like order has been restored.
Right.
That dribble handoff offense, it's really efficient when it works.
Yeah.
And they play a great brand of defense. I also love those retro uniforms, by the way. I mean, not those, but like the black ones.
Yes.
I mean, they're going to be really interesting. And I want them home in the second round because that home court advantage is enormous for that team. They just have the biggest margin in the league.
I really feel like this is the same story with this team every year. I mean, I just don't know when it gets to the playoffs. They got one superstar and a bunch of guys who, are in the middle. Come playoff time, you need at least 2.
But they were so young last year, right?
Yeah.
And you could see that in the series with the Spurs. You could see that in the series against Portland. It really is Jamal Murray, I think, a lot on his shoulders because we know what we're getting from Jokic, right?
Yeah.
So if Jamal Murray...
Who's the second best player? Jamal Murray, that guy. Can he be consistent for them every night? I don't know.
Right.
We're seeing how you do in the regular season. He was great in the BLAZERS series last year, but I just don't know. You have to have that consistent secondary player in the playoffs.
Well, people are going to ask him until he does it, right? So he can do whatever he can play really well in the regular season. You have to go out and prove it in the playoffs, so they'll have that chance this year. All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about Giannis Antetokounmpo next. He says he's turned down opportunities to be in movies, commercials, to focus on winning his first title. Does that kind of stuff actually increase your chances? We will discuss that. First, though, time for our second distant replay of the day. This one from this date in 2006, featuring AI and AI. Love that. Watch it, watch it. Thank you.
You forget he was a playmaker. He helped.
I do not forget.
No, you don't forget
any of that. Thank you very much. There will be no slander in this room. Our audience, you might catch Dwayne Wade, Trae Young. They're both supposed to stop by the show. We're going to have so many special guests who will be swinging by our set. Hey, I am going to go to LAX the minute this show ends, fly through a snowstorm just to hang out with the people in Chicago. So are you, Paul. Tell them to come hang with us.
Come chill with us. It's going to be a movie.
Boom.
Or a great show.
One or the other. It's crunch time here on The Jump. The Raptors going for 16 straight wins tonight. They face the Nets on the road. Kevin, how do you like the odds of Toronto keeping the streak rolling?
I like them. I love this team. I'm watching Tuesday the 25th, home Milwaukee, as the next big test.
Right.
I bet the house on it.
You really?
16 in a row.
Wow. There you go. They've been having so much fun, and the whole scarf thing with Serge Ibaka, right? And OG Anunoby. The entire team wore bright red and orange scarves on the plane ride down to Brooklyn.
That's chemistry right there.
There you go.
Accessorizing.
There you go. Zach LaVine on fire heading into this weekend's three-point contest. He was 8 of 11 from deep last night, had 41 points. The Bulls did still lose the game. But look, LaVine already has 2 dunk contest wins. No player has ever won both the dunk contest and the three-point contest, even if it's not in the same year. No one's done both. Do you think he can be the first one?
He has a shot. As long as Steph and Clay aren't in the three-point contest, He has a shot.
It's true.
And
right?
I think he wins the dunk contest.
Right? It's a good year if you're someone else to be in the three-point contest.
Absolutely.
Although I don't know, is Joe Harris going back to defend his
I think
crown?
he will be back. He's going to be tough. But he has a shot. That's the key.
All right, today, 20th anniversary of Vince Carter's iconic dunk contest win. What do you remember, Paul, about this night?
Man, I was sitting in my suit on the other end of the court at the free throw line, like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. You know, I saw a lot of these dunks in the high school dunk contest.
Right.
But when Tracy bounced it and he threw it in between the legs, I was like, I ain't seen that one yet. And I was like, this
And then he didn't even win.
else.
Vince, his cousin, snaked him.
Oh, my goodness. I was like, what?
The NBA player reaction was amazing. Shaq with that camcorder, like Ray Allen wiggling on the floor. I'd never seen player reaction like that.
Look at, I mean, that,
Now,
come
shoulder
on.
between the legs. The one when Tracy bounced it and Vince caught it.
That's
The one. That was the one. That's when it was like, it's over.
It was the first of the final.
That was over.
So, yes. Look, I mean, Tracy's told great stories about how Vince convinced him, yo, cuz, we should be in the dunk contest. We should do this. You're going to be great. You're going to be great. He's like, thanks, we know what happened. I do want to circle back to the reigning MVP. He said something else to our colleague Eric Woodyard that caught our attention. Giannis said, quote, I know there are a lot of things that come with being a celebrity, being on the front page covers, all that, but it really doesn't excite me. There's a lot of things that I've turned down. I've turned down movies, commercials, endorsement deals this year because I really don't care. I just want to win. I want to bring a championship to this city. So look, I certainly appreciate Giannis's work ethic. I think a lot of players want to win.
Yeah.
But do you think that avoiding those off-court endeavors, he declined to be in Space Jam 2, right? Do you think that increases Giannis's odds of winning a title?
Not at all. We've seen this happen many, many times from many superstars. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, they've all done these things during the season and went on to win championship. What it does tell me is he has laser focus. He doesn't care about those things. He is focused on winning, and winning a championship, and that is the only thing on his mind.
In 2017, I was assigned a preseason magazine feature on Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay.
He would only agree if his entire team was included. This was a very Tim Duncan, reminiscent of Duncan, who famously would only do the cover of SI if he was surrounded by teammates. And look, I think every guy is different. I mean,
absolutely.
But he has that sort of Duncan-esque approach. And speaking to what Paul said about focus, I think for him, this is what works.
Right. Yes. And look, it is a year where, as we discussed before, he's adding a baby to the mix. Throw a baby into that, it disturbs your routine a little bit. Maybe you don't need to also be into a movie.
I don't got time, boss.
But judging by the science, he's going to hit 60% of his three-pointers because the baby, right?
Hey, I'll take it, right? There you go. I want to get to our League Pass game of the night. Blazers at Grizzlies. This is 8 o'clock Eastern. The Grizzlies 3 games ahead of the Blazers for the 8th and final playoff spot out West. I love this question. So Memphis is 7-3 over their last 10. Portland is 6-4. Which team would be more dangerous as a potential 8 seed? The Grizzlies are in that spot now.
Neither team will be dangerous to the Lakers. But I'll tell you what, Memphis will be more exciting to watch. And that's who I want to see. I mean, John Morant and these young kids, they're the future. I want to see these guys in the playoff set.
Dame is dangerous. So, I mean, I think that is no discredit to New Memphis. I mean,
that's one individual,
Dame,
but not team.
Now, by the way, I think Portland has a slightly better chance. Grizzlies have 3 home games in hand, and meanwhile, Blazers have 3 road games in hand. And again, I just feel like Lillard is going to will this team to the playoffs.
Well, look, that's why Damian was so upset the other night about the goaltending call that wasn't called, because he said we're fighting for a playoff spot. Every game really matters. They could end up one out of the race. And I think that playoff streak for them is really important, Paul. Even if they know they're going up against a first seed and it doesn't bode well for them, if you're a player, to just be able to say you made the playoffs and for X number of years in a row, that means something, right?
Dame is a very prideful player. I mean, he's in the middle of his prime, and it will mean a lot. But
you're ready for new blood.
I'm just ready for new blood.
You're ready for John Morant.
And you know what else I'm ready for? I'm ready for Dame to either go to a new team or get some more help.
Paul.
No, seriously, I'm tired of watching this guy put up historic numbers and just not have an opportunity
show. Paul's
to
like,
win
oh, by the way, Damian Lillard should leave the Blazers.
I would love to see the Blazers in the sense that I think it'd be great for the franchise. I remember that Thunder-Lakers series in 09. Like, it could really do something, or I believe it was 2010, but that's a big catalyst for it.
Either way, it'll be excited to see them all duking out. There's other teams. We talked about the Pelicans also wanting that 8 seed.
Yeah.
We will see you tomorrow. Navy Pier in Chicago, 2 p.m. Central.
Do it.
Come early if you want to hang out.
Here I come.